podcast called Jellison Podcast.
He probably doesn't remember this at all.
Work together, it's easy.
This is kind of real, like holy shit.
And so it's really cool to get to be a part of that.
Hey, you know how it is, Bill. Hey, when
you now tune into the biggest ever.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, for everyone? We're back with episode 146 of the Jellison Podcast, and coming on for the fourth time, good friend Rapheal Davis. Rapheal, what's up?
What's up, man? I'm a regular guest now. I love it.
You're the person that's come on the most, if I'm remembering right.
There we go.
But yeah, had to have you on with the brackets dropping and everything like that. But before we get into that, obviously we were talking a little bit before we hopped on here. You were at the Big Ten tournament this past week. What was that experience like for you, being able to experience that for the first time as an analyst?
Oh man, it's probably one of the, outside of having kids, man, I can't do my kids like that, but it's one of the most best weeks I've ever had. I mean, being a player, you don't what I want to say, you don't get to see everything. As a player, you know, you go to the game, you go to shoot around, you get off the bus, play, you back on the bus, hotel, eat. So you don't really get to see the environment. You don't get to see the other teams. You don't get to see anything. Like, I got to meet Grant Hill this week. I got to meet Bill Raftery. I got to meet a lot of cool people that I wouldn't have met as a player. But honestly, I've always wanted to do this from a different angle. I put it out a couple of days ago that I wanted this a couple of years ago, but it was everything that I hoped for and more.
What was meeting Grant Hill and Raftery like? Just they're like absolute legends in college basketball and broadcasting.
Yeah, I can't even act like it wasn't a big deal. Like, I didn't even know if Grant Hill was going to want to shake my hand. So, I mean, and then you get a guy like Grant Hill and those dudes to say they've been watching you on TV. It's like, I was like a little kid, you know what I'm saying? So it was just an experience that I couldn't imagine. I remember when I was in high school playing on the AAU tournament in Orlando. Me and my brother, we got to see Grant Hill, and my brother went and took a picture with him. My brother went and took a picture with Coach K. My brother went and took a picture with Coach Izzo. And now 2 out of the 3 have come up to me this week. Not asking to take a picture or anything, but like Coach Izzo came up to me after they got off. They're getting off the bus, about to go play. They're about to go play Purdue. Yeah, this is when they go play Purdue. And it's an hour before 10, maybe hour and a half. Coach, I'm eating my food in the hallway. Coach Izzo stops me, comes up to me, telling me proud of me, doing a good job. And like, I didn't play for Izzo, but that meant the same as if Coach Painter would have said it. Coach Shrewsbury shot me a text yesterday. Almost got me in tears. Like, Coach Shrewsbury is a dude that known me since I was 15, 16 years old. That's kind of really seen me at my worst, kind of seen me at my best. So for him being as busy he is, and he took a loss. So for him to reach out to me, send me a message pretty lengthy, it was, this has been, I'm telling you, man, I still don't think I'm processing it, but it's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I was about to say it seemed crazy, and I could tell how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
I mean, did you get a chance to kind of sit back and just like look around and soak it all in, maybe during the games or after you're done?
No. I mean, I just was so in the moment. I mean, the most I looked around was to find, may sound weird, but our set was right in front of the crowd. So you could see the little kids that were watching the game or the little kids that were paying attention to us. And that was doing both. So I was looking around in the crowd in front of us to find those little kids that just looked so happy to see what we were doing, because that was me. Like Tim Legler, Jay Billis, like those dudes, like even like Dave, Andy Katz, like these are legends to me growing up. You know what I mean? Andy Katz did a bracket with Barack Obama. You know what I mean? So it's like, these are dudes that are important. So I think, I'm not saying I'm on that level, but kids feel that way. So I got to bring, like, there was one kid, and I didn't know him. He didn't know me. I think he was an Indiana fan, but he was at every single game, every single session. And I was able to get him a picture with everybody that we interviewed. And for him, for me too, that was the coolest moment because he's going to always remember that. The players don't know what that means, but when they get older, they will understand what that meant to him. So it was being able to help like the kids have fun with it as well, giving them an experience. I mean, Trace Jackson Davis, Keegan Murray, those dudes are NBA players. So it was a lot of fun. So I got to tell Keegan Murray I lock him up. like straight up, I lock you up. So it's like, it was a lot of fun, man. It was real cool.
Yeah. Hey, as good as a player you were, I don't know if it would have mattered. That dude's a dog.
Nah, man, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about that. D'Angelo Russell's a dog. D'Angelo Russell's number 2 pick in the draft. Victor Oladipo was a dog. Jerry Utah was a dog. But no, Keegan Murray is really good. I mean, to see what he's done with Iowa the last 13 games, they've lost 1 game to Illinois. They should have won. They missed. They go 1 for 6 from the free throw line in the last minute. They should have won that game. So no moral victories, but they lost that game. They've been on just an absolute run. They are playing as well as anybody in the country. They figured it out. You added Tony Perkins into the lineup. It gives Jordan Bohannon the ability to play on the ball, off the ball. So coaches can't really scout it a lot. So you don't know if he's bringing it up. You don't know if he's coming off of curls or whatever. But it also gives Iowa a bigger lineup. But Tucson is tough. But it gives them more of a feistier, bigger lineup to be able to push around wings and defend at a higher level. He's Tony Perkins is the best him and Johnny Davis are the 2 best rebounding guards in the Big Ten. So Iowa's 21-0 when they out-rebound you. He causes turnovers. He does a lot of different things, and it just gives the ability for them to be great. But then Keegan Murray, normally what you would say about an Iowa team, they play real fast, they get a lot of shots up, but they don't defend. They don't play. They play that zone, they play that press, and then you break the press. So, but they defend at a high level. Keegan Murray, I really like. Keegan Murray should have been player of the year. I mean, Johnny Davis is nothing. He was a great, unbelievable talent. But Keegan Murray, just better numbers, percentages, especially down the stretch. The last 15 games was unbelievable. He has the thought process. Two different moments. Jamison Battle gives Keegan Murray 20 in the first game. They play again. Keegan locks him up. And after the game, I asked him, Keegan said, well, yeah, he gave me 20 last game. I couldn't let that happen again. He gave no care about his own offense. The next game against Rutgers. I don't know if you saw the end of the Rutgers game. Keegan Murray got a foul. Ron Harper hit some free throws. After the game, Rutgers was celebrating. Ron Harper put on the chain. Like you could see that would eat at Keegan Murray. Ron Harper was the leader of scorers in that game. I think he had 15. They played again. Ron Harper goes 4 for 15, 13 points. Keegan Murray goes for 30. So it's like he remembers stuff like that. It's like Michael Jordan in the documentary. Like that, I remembered that or whatever. So they've been playing great. Patrick, so you got Jordan Bohannon can make shots whenever. Even if he's struggling, he's going to end up making some. We figured that out. Keegan Murray's going to be Keegan Murray. You had Perkins in there. But Patrick McCaffrey against Indiana had a 3-minute stretch where don't care about Keegan Murray, don't care about Trace Jackson Davis. He was the best player on the floor. He went for 12 in that second half, 5 of 6 from the field, like really kept Iowa in the game when they were doubling Keegan. Bohannon wasn't making shots. Perkins hadn't had it going. You get a ball to Patrick and let's get buckets. So they're tough, man. And you see them against Purdue. They played 2 bigs that hadn't played all season just to kind of have big bodies. So McCaffrey could have been coach of the year. Greg Gard did a great job, but Iowa's tough. I mean, you look at Indiana, and I know Purdue fans aren't going to hear this, but if Trace Jackson Davis would have played with this type of energy and grit the entire season, along with Xavier Johnson, Indiana could finish top 3 in any league in the country. I mean, the way they defend, they lock up. Like Xavier Johnson, I know a lot of people don't agree with his antics, but he's a tough dude. Like from Virginia, like really tough dude. He gets into you. He frustrates you. I mean, that was Purdue fans don't like it, but that was me. Like you see videos of me pushing Diamond Stone for no reason. Like, you know what I mean? So like that's what you love about it. But he's carried them the last 7 games, averaging I think like 19 and 7. And then when you add that with Trace Jackson Davis in the tournament, he went for 25, 9 and 3 blocks a game in those 3 games. And he had to guard. I mean, this is against Hunter Dickinson, All-American, Kofi, All-American, Keegan Murray, top 10 draft pick. So it's like, this wasn't against slouches. So, I mean, they're playing good. If you can get, and then it's simple. Miller Kopp started to make a couple shots. Miller Kopp making shots changes their offense. I like Galloway. He plays hard. Their lineup of, Purdue experienced this. Their lineup of Galloway, Fennessy, and Johnson, along with Race and Trace, it's a tough lineup with those 3 guards. So, I mean, I like how Indiana played their way in. After that first half against Michigan, thought they were dead in the water, but they drank some of that special stuff from Space Jam and started kicking back. But, nah, my bad. I mean, I'm just talking, bro, but I'm trying to go through the teams a little bit. My bad, but the Illinois, I've been saying this all season. They depend on Kofi too much. It's like Purdue in 2013, 14, come last place in the Big Ten. Even 2016, when we didn't have the season we wanted, we depended just too much. And I was included in that. All of our points, post points, was throwing the ball to AJ on the block. Get us some points, paint points. Throw the ball to Biggie on the block. Give us some points in the paint. Our guards were just shooting a lot of threes. Myself, Dakota, Vince, PJ, even Johnny Hill, catch and shoot threes. Throw it in, they double, kick it out, just shoot it. And that's good if you're open, but you got to have a guard that's going to break down the defense, get in the lane, off of that closeout, maybe get somebody else a shot. Because you see in that Indiana game against Illinois, towards the end of the game, the guards just were scared to shoot. Like, they just would not take layups just because they're just not, I don't know if it's not used to it. They wouldn't take pull-ups, but they were, I mean, Plummer, Corbello, and Frazier was 7 of 29 from the field. I mean, Kofi gets you 21 and 14. Coleman Hawkins gets you 18. But if you're not, those guards have an ability to blow up on a game from 3 or really struggle. And if they struggle, they're going to go home early. But Trent Frazier's just too good, too fast. He could be able to get to the rim whenever he wants to. So I think Illinois just got to find a way to get to the basket. It'll be different. If Grandison didn't play against IU. Grandison is different because it would have made Race Thompson, it took him away from the basket. Like Coleman Hawkins is still a 4-man. Grandison's a guard playing 4. So that's a different type of matchup, but they're going to get healthy. They got Underwood seemed like he was okay losing that game just so they can get healthy. Ohio State, if they don't get at least Zed Key or Kyle Young back, it'll be tough because you can't look at those 2 as separate. You got to look at them as combined. You know what I mean? Because they play the same position and they're on the floor with EJ Liddell. That's combined numbers. At the center position, it's tough, but they got 2 NBA players. Malachi Branham's an NBA player. EJ Liddell's an NBA player. When you have that, you have a chance. But Justin Arns has to make shots, or Cedric Russell, one of those. Michi Johnson, they need production from their Malachi Branham, EJ Liddell. They can get you 60 combined, but if a team gets 65, you know what I mean? You got to have production from those guard positions. But Michigan State looked good. Looked like they're back to playing defense, not turning the ball over. I mean, almost lost the game. They had 7 turnovers in the last minute.
I could. It was like worse than Purdue against Iowa when we played them at our place.
Yeah, it was. They were just throwing the ball all over the place.
It was I couldn't even believe it.
And like you can see the frustration on Tom Izzo's face. Like it just was like silly mistakes. I don't know, but nah, man. Then like Michigan State. I mean, I'll say this again. I said it on air, but Max Christie, and I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm not even gonna say that. Yes, I am. When Max Christie scores 11 points a game, or 11 plus in a game, Michigan State's undefeated. So if he scores 11 points in the first half of the first game in the NCAA tournament, I'm just gonna turn the game off because I know they're gonna win. You know what I mean? So when he's aggressive, they're better. Gabe Brown was playing better. Bingham and Marble really just destroyed Wisconsin's bigs, and I think that'll be a problem for Wisconsin going forward. Because you look at their Sweet 16 matchup, they get there. It's Auburn. Yeah. Walker Kessler, and freaking Jabari Smith. You know what I mean? So like, and then they have another 7-footer. And Walker Kessler averages 4.5 blocks a game. And Johnny Davis likes to get to the basket. So it's like Brad Davis and Chucky Hepburn, they're gonna have to make shots. Stephen Crowd, Chris Vogt are gonna have to try and they don't have to have 30 combined, but having 12 and 8 combined is a big deal. Like you think of, or even 16 and 8, because against Michigan State, Marble and Bingham. I'm gonna flip something for you. I'm gonna get to Purdue. Against Michigan State, Marble and Bingham Wisconsin, Markham and Bingham combined for 26 and 17, 3 blocks. Wisconsin's bigs combined for 10 points, 1 rebound. Just not going to get the job done. Michigan State won. Purdue's bigs against Michigan State, they combined for, let's say, close to 30 and 15. Michigan State's bigs, both of them fouled out. Well, Bingham had 4. Joey Hauser fouls out. Bingham and Marble combined for 13 and 6, I think. So it's like Purdue flipped it on them. You know what I mean? So if Michigan State's bigs dominated Wisconsin's bigs that way, and then Purdue's bigs dominated their bigs, Wisconsin's going to have to get some production. I mean, or at least from their bench. Somebody's going to have to score.
I mean, but then I don't mean to cut you off, but then Wisconsin swept us in the regular season. The first game is because of Johnny Davis, and then
look, I want to say the first game was only because Johnny Davis. Chris Vogt and Stephen Crowl played tough. Like, they weren't scared. They weren't scared at all. They played tough. They used all their fouls. They got a couple buckets. They frustrated the bigs. Johnny Davis was great, but they kind of not neutralized. They're 7-footers, and that was up to the first, especially the first game. Purdue hasn't seen. I could be wrong, but two solid 7-footers. Yeah, not 7-footers that barely play. But no, I get what you're saying, because I'm still shocked they swept Purdue. I can't believe it, but yeah, it's unbelievable. Just threw my whole train of thinking off.
My fault. Yeah, I mean, how much pressure or how much emphasis should we put on the Big Ten tournament itself? Just because, I mean, like we saw what happened last year with Illinois and Ohio State. They had good runs and then they lost early. And then like Purdue in 2019, I think they lost in the first game and then ended up making the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I mean, my last team went to the Big Ten championship, lost a close one to Michigan State, lost to Little Rock, Arkansas in the first round. Michigan State won the championship that year. They lost their first round game. I think they were a 2 seed. So I don't know if it can, but you see them, like you see a Michigan win the Big Ten tournament, go on a run in the NCAA tournament. So I think it just depends on where you're at in your season. Like Indiana, it saved their season. You know what I mean? So they're definitely going to have to use it as momentum to keep it going. They figure some things out about who they are as a team. But for Purdue, I don't put too much into it. Obviously, you want to win. But you also understand you're not going to win with 17 turnovers if you're going to be 25% from 3. So that was something they took care of the ball against Penn State, took care of the ball against Michigan State, but they just did not take care of the ball against Iowa. Iowa's tough, but give credit to Iowa. But you want to win a championship. Don't get me wrong. You want to win a championship. Like, it felt in that locker room. I've been in that locker room after losing the championship. I've had to sit through Selection Sunday after losing the championship. I don't know if you saw the guys, their reaction, but you didn't see J.I. You didn't see Zach. You know what I mean? Like, it took everything for us to get Vince into that room for Selection Sunday. So it's like, it still hurts, but those dudes understand what's ahead of them. Their paint is real simple on keeping your goals straight, keeping them ahead of you, but they didn't win a regular season conference title. They didn't win a Big Ten tournament title. This is what they play for, Final Four. I mean, Purdue leads the Big Ten in conference titles. Paint doesn't have a Final Four. I like their draw. I like what they did in the Big Ten tournament. Travion became the closer that he's always been again. I mean, the passes were crisp. They were on target. Eric Hunter's making shots. I mean, Mason Gillis, Sasha Stefanovic, they struggled a little bit, but I think Sasha's hand must be bothering him still. But Sasha's not going to miss. Like, Sasha's going to get going. I have no doubt in Sasha not getting going. He's going to get going. I mean, God, you got Brandon Newman. Like, he's an option now. That was unbelievable. Like, that, I like Brandon a lot, man. Like, I actually, even outside of basketball, he's just a good kid. Like, he's just a good dude. Like, cares, he tries. Like, he wants to make the world better. Like, he's a good dude. Like, maybe overly competitive at times, but he's a good dude. But to see him be able to get back on the court, getting the rhythm, that was great. Ethan Morton's making shots. Like, feels like the guys are there. It's just because they ran into a train that was rolling. Like, I don't know if you watched the Iowa Northwestern game, but Iowa looked like an NBA team. So,
it was ridiculous.
Bro, they were playing horse.
Well, the last 2 threes they hit, that the Ash kid pulled up, and he has like an unorthodox shot. He just threw one up, hits it, And then at the very end, when I know Fran McCaffrey was pissed off at him, but the other kid banked in a 3 from the logo. It was just like nothing. Everything was falling for them. It was ridiculous.
No, so Purdue will be fine. I think they got a good draw. I look at Big Ten. It's a very the coaches are smart. Obviously, Payne's one of the smartest dudes I know, not just in basketball, but other coaches are smart, but they haven't had time to scout the Big Ten like Big Ten coaches have. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they don't have. Looking at their way to even if they get to Kentucky in the Sweet 16, Kentucky doesn't have 2 bigs that could dominate like Purdue's. I mean, I look at that game. Oscar Tshiebwe means a lot to Kentucky, but Kofi Cockburn meant a lot to Illinois. And I think against those type of teams, Purdue has 2 of them. Like, you're going to get tired. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, you guarding those 2 dudes, it's a different, you had to guard them different. So you're thinking up here, you got to guard Zach different. How you got to guard Travion? Kentucky's got to guard them differently. I mean, Keon Brooks Jr. is my little cousin. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know I say that a lot about different people, but that's actually my boy. Like right there in Fort Wayne. So I don't really know where I'm a root in that aspect, but that's my dog. So it's like, I just talked to his brother this morning. So like, that's going to be a big matchup with him and Mason Gillis. When Keon Brooks plays well, Kentucky plays well. When Mason plays well, Purdue plays well. But then their guards, like Ty Washington, Wheeler, like they're NBA guards. So I got trust in Eric and J.I. J.I. defended well. You look at the Penn State game, you put Eric on Pickett, does his thing on Pickett, but Sam Sesson's the wild card at times. And Coach Shrewsbury put the ball in Sam Sesson's hands and said, go beat Ohio State. And Jamari Wheeler is one of the better defenders in the league. Sam Sesson's got the job done. Against Purdue, he goes 4 for 13, 9 points. They need that type of individual defense in the tournament. I'm looking ahead to Kentucky because they got to win both games in the first weekend. So. Yeah. But no, I got good hopes for the boys.
Yeah, as far as that Kentucky matchup, in the SEC, I think it's a semifinal. They went 2 of 20 from 3, and I think they've been struggling recently. I haven't watched a whole lot of them in the last couple of weeks, but from what I heard, they haven't been shooting well from 3. So
no, they haven't. They don't shoot that ball well.
Yeah, so we could. I mean, that's kind of a sneaky like. People think, oh, it's Kentucky, whatever. I think we have a really good shot against them. But, I mean, going back to the NCAA tournament kind of as a whole, did you have any problems with the seeding? I know a lot of people were kind of complaining on Twitter and whatnot last night. And then, do you have any issues with the seeding and then like the first 4 out, last 4 in, anything like that?
No, I don't have to. I don't have an issue at all. I was a little surprised that Michigan was so solidly in. I thought maybe they would have played for 4. I think if it was anything, I would probably switch Michigan and Rutgers. Because Rutgers, I mean, you look at them, that's an NCAA tournament team. Like, they beat 1 through 10 in the Big Ten. Like, I don't know when's the last time somebody could say that. They beat 1 through 10, but I don't know what happened 11 through 14. But they definitely beat 1 through 10. So it's like, that's a really solid squad. You look at them. Maybe that, but I think everything else to get 9 teams in is great. I don't know if any of the teams deserve a 2 seed because the Big Ten, it beats up on you. I mean, this happens. You got a league like that, so I'm fine with the seedings. I'm fine. I like the draws. I like when Wisconsin got a good draw until you get to Auburn. I like Michigan State. Michigan State's probably got the toughest to me because Boston Lawyer played at Michigan State. He's a baller at Davidson. He lives in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne dudes get it done. But that's also, for people listening, that's Fletcher Loy's brother. So they get the job done, the Fletcher boys. So he'll be amped up to play Michigan State again, obviously. That'll be a tough game. They don't turn the ball over, and they make about 9-10 threes a game. So Michigan State, they turn the ball over crazy. That could get ugly. But then next game, you got Duke. And I'm not into like conspiracies or whatever, but somebody matched that up. Coach K and Tom Izzo on the Farewell Tour. Yeah, so like that'd be a tough matchup, but they got the athletes to stay in the game. But no, I think the Big Ten, I know last year it wasn't what everybody wanted, but I think this year is different because each team, I believe, well, most of them, at least 5 or 6 of them, they have an NBA player on them. And you've seen what Carson did in the tournament. Like when you have an NBA player on your team and somebody that can shoot the ball like Klein, you got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not all you need, but I mean, you look at all the teams that have gone on Final Four runs, maybe not even won the national championship, like Buddy Hield goes
Yes.
off, Carson goes off, like UConn with Kimba and Shabazz, they both went off. I mean, you need that lead guy that can get you 25, 30 if you need to.
No, 100%.
And then you need your shooters to show up because, I mean, they don't in one game and you're gone, you know.
And that's why it's important for Purdue to have Brandon going, because you see it. When Sasha was struggling, let's go B. You make some shots, get him back, get him a rhythm. Like you need, like that's where Purdue's depth comes back into place. Like the depth comes in that scoring punch. And then he was great defensively. He gives you an athletic wing, long, he's closing out, best defense I've seen him play. So I really like this Purdue team because I look at them as though, like you just said, somebody's got to go off 30. Purdue's center could go off 30 every game.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at just the center position, 15 and 15 or 20 and 10, and then maybe you get 10 rebounds from each, 8 rebounds. Like Purdue's bigs in this tournament could average 30 and 15 at the center position. And then whatever J.I. gives you, say he gives you 17. You know what I mean? So that's enough. That's why I really think Purdue could win it, because they have that person in 2. So where you don't really have to depend on just one. You may have a game, Zach gets you 20, Travion struggles, get you 7. It's 27. You know what I mean? So Sasha and Brandon are that combo to me as well. Sasha struggle, Brandon in there, you still get 3 threes. You know what I mean? So they're both on, you get 12 threes from the team. So I mean, Masons can make shots. Mason is a baller. So I mean, I think these guys will get going. I think other teams in the country aren't built to play this Purdue team. You can't simulate in practice Purdue's bigs, and there's no way you can simulate Jaden Ivey. Like he's like just an athletic monster. So it's like he had a few plays in the Big Ten tournament where you were just like, okay, I get it. Top 5. Like, yeah, I get it. So it's like they just gotta stop turning the ball over. Purdue can't beat Purdue. And it's not about free throws. Like, it's not free throws. It's not free throws. Like, I was a guy in the crowd. I was watching the game. He goes, the free throw line's been the same length from the court his whole life since 2nd grade. The rim never got bigger. And I looked at him and I said, it's probably tough shooting the ball, a free throw in front of 20,000 people. Like, because you think about a free throw, like you think about a 3-pointer, just because it's the same distance as you never miss a 3. Like I've never seen a team go 100% from the free throw line the entire season. I don't think I've ever seen a team go 90% from free throw line the entire season. You're going to miss free throws. People aren't trying to miss their free throws. Purdue, I can guarantee Purdue is not point shaving. So it's like, that's not beating yourself, because you make some, you miss some. But turnovers, that's beating yourself. Like allowing offensive rebounds, that's beating yourself. And Purdue can't beat themselves in the tournament. And when you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance to set your defense. And when Purdue has a set defense, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. And then, I mean, you kind of brought him up earlier, but Eric Hunter Jr., he's been killing it. I mean, he's been one of our more clutch guys down the stretch. If we can get 8 to 12 points from him every game, we're in a really good spot too.
Yeah, he's been balling. Like it was such a surreal moment, even outside of basketball. Eric Hunter, senior year in high school, I was a senior at Purdue, and I went down to Indianapolis to help him with his senior project. Like Eric was like, his communication was bad as a senior in high school. Like he'd see me, like I was his mentor in an assignment. It was after the season. He'd like send me stuff the day of. Like he told me I had to be at a restaurant in Indianapolis like the day before. Like, yeah, but that was my guy. So I've known him for all our life basically. So it's like, just have him, to know him then, and then at the Big Ten tournament, I'm interviewing him after the game. That was just like a special moment to me. Like that was a special moment. He's been balling. I don't remember which game it was, but he had been struggling. He called me at like midnight, FaceTiming. And it was midnight here. So it had to be like 1:30 in the morning there. You know what I mean? So I'm in Chicago. So he's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, what's up? But you could tell it had been bothering him. So like, And sometimes I hit, and sometimes I don't hit him up when he's struggling, just kind of have him fight through. But he'll hit me up, and I just like, yo, you just, it's not because of me or anything. He has great parents, but it felt like at that point it was bothering him. And since then, he's just been balling. I mean, he's shooting the ball over 50% from three. I mean, he's becoming that option. His defense is back to what it was, locking guys up, but being aggressive, like not just looking for Travion and Zach or J.I. Like him getting the ball and going. I mean, he was an all-time leading scorer in Marion County. That's not a slouch. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if people realize who's come through Indianapolis. Like Marion County is Indianapolis. Like that's tough. No matter what level you play at, no matter what division, the ball still got to go through the net. So he knows how to get the job done. So he's been playing well. If he can continue that, I mean, yeah, like sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, I was confused where he was struggling, and then his defense wasn't up to his standard, I guess. And then yeah, like you said, you just got on a roll and started going off. But I mean, as far as Purdue's path in the tournament, are you scared about that Chris Beard team again over at Texas?
No, I ain't scared of Chris Beard, man. Forget Chris Beard. No, I'm just playing. I like Chris Beard. Chris Beard is a good dude, but ever since Little Rock, Arkansas, I've been scarred by Chris Beard.
Yeah.
So
and then he beat Purdue with Texas Tech too.
Yeah, he beat Purdue with Texas Tech, but I still can't get over Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll tell you a story. I once got on the plane. I started with Eli Lilly in October after I graduated. So I graduated in May, started in October. So this is like not too long after we lost to Little Rock, Arkansas. This is December. I'm coming home. No, this is November. I'm coming home for Thanksgiving. Get on the plane. There's a guy in like this third row, like a family, Little Rock, Arkansas family. Like it made me sick to my stomach. I got off the plane. I took the next one. Like that's how serious it is to me. Like I hear certain names and I just get to, like Gardner Webb. It still hurts. Like that. It was December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. We lose to Gardner Webb at home. But anyway. But Chris Beard, I mean, I like this Purdue team. That goes above playing on the court. That's going to be a lot of paint. I know Paint wants to get that one. Paint wants to beat him. You know what I mean? So obviously you want to beat the dude that's beat you twice. So I think I'm not worried about them. I think they'll be fine. I think at this point, Purdue would have to beat Purdue in order to lose. And they beat Purdue against, give credit to Iowa, but Purdue beat Purdue.
And I don't know, I mean, we don't have to get into that Little Rock game, but I mean, when you look at teams that are on kind of upset alert, I mean, is it a matter of like overlooking your opponent or just a bad stylistic matchup? Or I know last year after Purdue lost to North Texas, I had you on and you and Lujack shared the same thing. You said that North Texas team maybe wasn't seeded properly.
Yeah, that North Texas team was old. I mean, that was a senior-led team. Not old, but that was a senior-led team. Purdue was a young team. This is a matchup where North Texas won't beat themselves. Purdue were young, they beat themselves. So I think you make it to the tournament. I'm not one of those guys that high major, low major, all that stuff. I mean, Kiss, the leading scorer in the country, that are like a low major, mid-major college. He played at Rutgers. I don't know if a lot of people know that. He played at Rutgers. So it's like, he's a high major player. You know what I mean? That's why I don't get it when guys act like Purdue should just beat Minnesota and Nebraska every time. Like these dudes are high major. Like Bryce McGowan was an NBA player. Like Alonzo Verge was 6th man of the year in the Pac-12. Like these are good players. It's just you lose games, it's still high major. But I don't put too much into all of that type of stuff. Anybody can lose to anybody anytime. There's players everywhere. I mean, Purdue lost to Santa Clara in the CBI my freshman season. So I'm not really bought into all of the upset alerts. It could be a little disrespectful to call stuff upsets. I know like coaches don't like when you say bad losses like against their team. Like, that was a bad loss. Think about if you're the coach of that team. Like we're a good team. You know what I mean? It's so disrespectful. But no, I don't, especially with the Big Ten schools, if I could look around maybe, but like Michigan State losing to Davidson to me isn't like upset. Like Davidson's a good team, got a great coach. So it's like, just because your seeds are lower or whatever, I'm not really too much. Honestly, I haven't even filled out the bracket yet, but I don't see that being a factor.
Do you think, I know you said you hadn't filled it out yet, but do you see any of those like top 4 seeds or any of the 2-3 seeds that have some issues that could that could get bounced early?
Yeah, Ohio State. I will know they're not top 3 seed, but shit, I'm thinking about Big Ten schools. But let me think. Hold on, man. Actually, let's be responsible, Doug.
I got my bracket up.
What you mean? I'm talking about mine. I couldn't see the teams.
Oh,
And I ain't gonna lie to you.
my fault. My fault.
But I could see. I think Arizona could win it 100%. I think Michigan could beat Tennessee. That's just me. I mean, I know a lot of people are high on Tennessee. I'm not a believer yet. You look at, I think Auburn gets there. I think Kansas runs into Iowa, and that'd be tough.
That'll be a hell of a game. I cannot. Ooh. Hopefully, both of them make it there because that's like, I mean, that's a perfect matchup.
Providence, and you can't put too much into scrimmages, preseason scrimmages, but Providence. I mean, I know people remember Providence beat Purdue in the scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then people were saying, oh, it's just a scrimmage. But then Providence goes on to win the Big East. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Providence, Iowa, if they both win their first game, that would be a good one. But I'll take Iowa. I'll take Iowa to the Final Four, man. I think Iowa has the ability and the speed, and they don't turn the ball over. I think they end up running to Auburn in the Elite Eight, and I think they can win that game. I don't honestly, as far as 1s and 2s, I don't see any upsets. I think the one like Duke, Michigan State will be a good one, just because that'd be a cat and mouse game with the coaches. As far as the 3 seeds, I take Purdue getting there. I'm taking Purdue to get to Baylor. I would want to see that. Another 3 seed, Wisconsin. I'm thinking Wisconsin loses to Auburn in the Sweet 16, but I think they get to the Sweet 16, so that's not really like a disappointment.
Yeah.
Then who was another one? My bad. Who's the 3 seed in that one? Oh, Texas Tech. I don't have a lot of faith in Texas Tech.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so I think everybody be fine.
I think Michigan State, I mean, if they get through Davidson, I don't know
how
the
bodies.
I don't know how they'll match up with like Boncaro and all the studs that Duke has, but like, I mean, you could see them getting to the Elite Eight in that.
I could see Michigan State being Duke. I mean, because Boncaro is a great player. He struggles sometimes, but Malik Hall could get going. I look at Malik Hall and Joey Hauser as like that combination part too.
Yeah.
Like those guys got to play well. I mean, Tyson Walker's become their closer. Purdue's experienced it. AJ Hogarth gave Purdue 17-10. So, I mean, I think Michigan, that's the game I'm looking forward to probably the most because they could get there. I will be thoroughly surprised if a Big Ten team doesn't make it to the Elite Eight. I mean, even Illinois, I'm taking Illinois to beat Chattanooga. Chattanooga's not biggest player, but they're big at 6'7", 6'8".
Chattanooga, don't they have they had Silvio De Souza, the dude that tried to throw the chair from Kansas. You remember him?
I do remember him, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I was watching their championship game. That game was crazy, but anyway.
But no, I take them in that game. I take Illinois against Houston, and I want to see Illinois and Arizona the rematch. I think it's one team that could beat Arizona. I think it will be Illinois because of Kofi, those bigs, and then Illinois' guards, when they're making shots, they're explosive. It's unbelievable when they make shots. So it's like, I can see them getting there. But no, I think it's wide open this year. Like, I don't think, like we had a couple weeks ago, all top 6 teams lost on the same day. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think this is a year where it's open for anybody to make a run. I like UCLA. Like UCLA, Indiana would be special. That'd be a special game. Like like Tiger Campbell, Trey Jackson Davis played AU together for Indy Heat. So it's like, that'd be a special game. Tiger Campbell went to my high school, Alamir. So it's like, Johnny Juzang is tough. I mean, that'd be a good game. So I hope Indiana could beat Wyoming, beat St. Mary's and get there. But I think everybody has a legit chance.
All right. I'm going to give you some of my upsets. I mean, I'm still working through my bracket, but this was like my rough. I got New Mexico State in the Sweet 16, beating UConn and then beating the winner of Arkansas Vermont. I don't care who wins that game. The New Mexico State has Allen, who played at Nebraska last year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he can go off, and then he
can put the ball in the hoop.
they have a couple guys that are like Power 5 transfers. So I think they're a team that will be slept on. And it's that like classic 5-12 game where a lot of those quote unquote upsets happen.
Right.
I also think that Baylor could lose against North Carolina if North Carolina beats Marquette. That's one that I think a lot of people are sleeping on UNC.
A lot to sleep on. But
Fair.
no, I feel you though. I like UNC. I like their bigs. And I like when UNC's guard play was not that good against the first game against Duke, but their guards were good in the second game. So I mean, it's certain teams that you should never sleep on. You should never sleep on North Carolina, especially in the tournament, because refs may be a little different. It's North Carolina, you know what I mean? So it's like when North Carolina gets to Baylor, it's not going to be if they get to Baylor, it's not going to be like, oh, their one seed is one-sided. It's North Carolina. Seeds go out the window. You know what I mean? So I can see that too.
I could also see Murray State beating Kentucky. I think before, this means nothing, but like a couple weeks ago, I said, all right, my Final Four, I'm calling it right now, it's going to be Purdue, Arizona, Gonzaga, and Murray State. And then obviously Murray State's in Purdue's bracket. So I'm picking Purdue, but I think Murray State's damn good.
I haven't seen a lot of Murray State this year. And that's another thing with me as far as the tournament. I've been watching so many Big Ten games that like I haven't had the chance to watch everybody yet. I watched what I could, but I haven't watched Murray State live. So I'm not sure about them. But I've heard a lot about them as the seasons went on. I just haven't put my eyes on them.
But I do think Chattanooga got a tough draw with Illinois, but I mean they have the pieces. I think they could give Illinois a run for their money.
Chattanooga has big guards. Illinois struggles with big guards. You've seen it this all year. They're small. They struggle with big guards. Chattanooga has big guards. But Chattanooga is 138th. No, 108, either 38th or 85. And I know that's a big discrepancy, but I could be thinking of two teams. I think 138th in rebounding per game. Illinois led the Big Ten. I think it's like top 30 in the country. I think rebounding will be the difference in that game. Because sometimes Illinois' best offense, miss a shot, let Kofi go get it, dunked it. So it's like, and sometimes you give up too many offensive rebounds. It's a little demoralizing as a team. But no, I've actually watched Chattanooga because my family lives in Chattanooga right now. So they're all hype about it. Like they're like Chattanooga beat Purdue. And I'm like, come on, pump your brakes. But no, it's been cool, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to just cover it. You know what I mean? Like talk about it all day. Like never in a million years I thought this would have been me, but I'm happy it is.
Yeah, we kind of got off on a little tangent, but what was it like to experience that atmosphere just like in game from the desk perspective? Because I mean, I'm assuming, you've been in Mackey, you've been played in the NCAA tournament, all that stuff, but I mean, did you have a bigger appreciation for the fans and just the atmosphere and how much it meant to them, being able to kind of look around and see what was going on?
Yeah, man. I look at the Illinois-Indiana game. That game was special. Like, that is the one game where I did look around and took it in. Like, Illinois fans travel well. It's not that far, but it's still Indianapolis. I thought IU would just dominate the arena. Like the game before against Michigan, it was all red, barely any yellow. But against Illinois, Orange Crush, they came out. It was loud, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been in Mackey, been in Assembly Hall, been in these gyms. Like, when you get both fan bases there, and like you see at the end of the game, Indiana fans hugging Purdue fans. Like, it's like, what's going on? It's like that game was special. The crowd was special. Being on the floor was special. It was just it's soft when I think about it, but it just was like a special feeling, like to be right there, be on the floor, hear the arena. My mom and dad got to come to games. My mom told me this was the first Big Ten tournament game she's come to and not be nervous for me. You know what I mean? Because she was normally as a parent, so she got to take it in. I got to got videos on my phone, but videotaping my mom dancing to the music in the crowd. Like, it's like my dad is talking to everybody. It's like, it was just a whole different feel. I got to go watch Purdue. That was a real big moment for me because I got to go in Purdue, shoot around the first day they got there, and it was quiet. And what I used to do in shoot around when I was a player, I just start yelling out, "It's too quiet in here. It's too quiet in here. It's quiet." I heard it was quiet in the gym. I got to walk in the arena. It's too quiet in here. Just start yelling it out for no reason. Like all the players just look at me like I'm like this old dumb dude. And I see Paint and Bloom and all those dudes. It's like we back home with family. So it's like I woke up. It just was a special moment especially when Purdue played. Like when Purdue played Penn State, like that was special. Like parents, obviously Coach Shrews, but seeing all the Purdue fans, seeing everybody, remembering everybody, that especially you saw at Mackey, it was louder and there than it was for the Indiana game. Like it was real cool to be on the other side of it.
Yeah, the Big Ten tournament.
And then you just got to, my bad, but you got to, like we seen, like Keegan had 32, Trace had 31. You got to see like special performances. Like you see IU get up 16-3, that Iowa go tie the game. It's like you did not experience this as a player because you had to go right back to the hotel. But no, it was crazy to see.
I remember the first ever Purdue game I ever went to was when you guys beat Michigan to go to the final. I think it was
my senior year.
Yeah, your senior year. So that was my first ever Purdue game. And then like, it's kind of weird. I went with my cousin and he was like, all right, after this game, because there's 2 games in the session for people listening, we're going to go down and catch the Purdue fans going out. We're going to ask them for their tickets. It's like, I'm not doing that, bro. That's so weird. So then him, and another kid go down there and he goes, hey, sir, I see you're leaving. Like, can we use your tickets? He was wearing like a Purdue stuff, all decked out in Purdue stuff. He goes, you know where these tickets are? And he's like, no. He's like, they're on the floor. Have fun. So we went and sat in the second row at like the end of Michigan State's bench.
That's what's up.
Year.
That's dope.
And then like last year, I got the chance to cover there's nothing like the Big Ten tournament. That was probably my favorite event I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, the Big Ten does a really good job. The Big Ten is a conference that cares. And I think also, even talking with Andy Katz, because he does a lot of national stuff, like there's no one more traveled than Andy Katz. But the Big Ten's fan bases from 1 through 14, like I called a game in Nebraska. This is when Nebraska hadn't won a conference game yet. It's still packed. So it's like the fan bases care. A lot of the Big Ten, I guess, important people, executives, whatever we'll call them, they're from Big Ten schools. So they care. They put a lot of effort into it. It's a special event.
I mean, do you think that we should ever move it from Indy though? Because I think, being in Indy, it's the perfect place for it. I know you're going to Chicago next year. I thought the weird one was Washington, D.C. I didn't really like that. But like I can see Chicago and Indy as being the 2 main spots.
Yeah, I would like it. When I left the league, like as a player, you leave the league, kind of get depressed a little bit. You don't watch as much. But I don't know if anybody would say that, but it's the truth. So I didn't watch the DC one. I didn't watch the Madison Square Garden one. But I 100% agree. I think it should alternate Chicago, Indianapolis, just to give those schools a chance to kind of run the gym. Like Indiana, Purdue are always going to run Indianapolis. Yeah. But that gives a chance for Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, obviously Northwestern, to kind of make their claim in that gym. So I like it back and forth. I wasn't watching it then, but I like it. Indy, Chicago, I think that's the best. I think Midwest basketball is where it should be.
Yeah, probably the most like special moments have come when it's been in Indy. Like if you look back at the Evan Turner shot against Michigan,
or Hayward.
I
don't know what that was, but it was in Indy, I think. I don't know if that was a tournament, but yeah.
Gordon Hayward?
He made, like, that was versus what, Duke? Was that an Indy when he hit that shot, the half-court shot, NCAA tournament?
No, he missed the half-court shot. Remember?
He missed it. Yeah, he missed it. He missed it. Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
Indy's a great place for the tournament because it's just basketball mecca.
Yeah, for sure. And it was cool to see, like, last year the tournament be all in Indy. Like I know that's not going to be sustainable or whatever, and I wouldn't really want it to be. Just so teams can get out and have their home court advantage, but that was really cool. All right, wrap things up because I don't want to hold you too long. Do you have a Final Four yet? Because I thought that you had done the damn bracket.
Oh no, I hadn't done the bracket. No, but I do have my Final Four.
Okay.
I like made notes and scraps because we did the bracketology show last night. It's like 2 hours. Like, but so I got Purdue in the East.
Mhm.
I'm taking Gonzaga in the West. I know a lot of people say they don't play anybody, but Gonzaga's damn good. I'm taking Arizona in the South. I'm taking Iowa out the Midwest. So I'm going Iowa, Purdue, Arizona, Gonzaga. Well, honestly, no. Duke beats Gonzaga. Duke, Purdue, Arizona, Iowa. Because Coach K, he's going to get there.
Dude, I don't know. I don't trust that Duke team.
I don't either. I trust Coach K.
I don't know if they have a killer.
They don't, but they have Coach K.
That's true. All right. Well, I mean, ours was pretty close. I had Gonzaga, Purdue, Arizona, and Iowa.
Yeah, and the toss up for me is Gonzaga Duke. So we're on the same page there. When I say Duke, I'm saying Coach K. So I should just say Coach K.
Yeah, and then obviously I'm gonna pick Purdue in like my main one, but I think if it's not Purdue, I think it'll be Arizona. I think Arizona's damn good.
To me, it's Arizona's to lose.
Mm-hmm. They're so good
across the board. And Matherin, they got an NBA guard, 2 NBA bigs. Might be the only team like Purdue where they have 2 of them, 2 7-footers that give you real production. They both give you like 11 and 7, like both of them. And then their power forward, he's 7'1".
Yeah,
he can play. And then their shooting guard is averaging 20, and he's 6'6". They lock up. I mean, it's Arizona. To me, it's Arizona's to lose.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. All right, like I said, I'm gonna wrap this up. Really appreciate you coming on for a 4th time. Like I said, it was
regular
really
guest, man. Regular guest.
Hey, it was also really cool to see you out there at the Big Ten tournament. It's inspiring for me, someone who wants to be there as well. So keep up the good work as always, and stay safe.
I appreciate it, Dub. Just remember, you know me a little bit. I can do this. You would kill it, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you out there next year.
Yes, sir.